Hi parents, it's Meg Deering, Director of Instruction here at Marquette University High School. I'm making this video today to show you as parents how you can use our online resources to help support your son in his executive functioning skills, his organizational skills. If you're finding that things are falling through the cracks, or perhaps he's not keeping track of all of the work that he's being assigned, there are ways that you can go online and help to ensure that he is tracking all of the things that he's needing to do to be successful at Marquette High. So the first thing I wanted to show you is our Moodle pages. One of the things that we've asked teachers to do, especially this year in our hybrid schedule, is to have some consistent place where they are posting what they're doing in class for the week and the homework that is assigned. So in the past, you might have found that in a number of different places. All of our teachers are being asked to do that within 2 provided templates in their Moodle pages. So I'm going to show you pages that have each of those templates and show you where about you should find those on Moodle pages. If you're looking for a place to find which math homework is assigned that week, or which English assignments are assigned that week, or what's happening that week in your son's theology class. So from the home page in the quick links menu, you can go to Moodle and it will take you to our landing page, our login page for Moodle. You can also type the web address right into that URL bar. But when you get here, you're going to see all of the departments listed here. When you click on a department, it will show you a list of all of the courses, and then each course is attached to a teacher. So you need to make sure that you know who your son's teacher is so that you're bringing up the right course Moodle page. So for instance, if we are looking for English 1 that I teach, English 1 with Mrs. Deering, when you click on that, the first thing it's going to do is take you to the login page. Now, if your son were doing this, he would log in because that would give him access to all of the resources on the Moodle page. But as a parent, you have the option to log in as a guest. And while you won't be able to take online quizzes or participate in online discussion forums, you have access to pretty much everything else on the site with that guest access. So this is one of the 2 templates that you might see toward the top of a Moodle page. This is the slide template. You can navigate it either by advancing through the slides with the arrows. You can go to specific slides in this. You can make it big to see it in a larger view. What you will see is there's generally going to be a links page here, and your sons will come here to log into their Zoom classes when they're at home. And then depending on how the teacher has organized this, you'll either see a daily overview or a weekly overview with the most recent day or week at the top of that slide deck. So you can see in the weekly overview, there's a view of what's happened in class, and then there's also a column where homework is listed as well. And so this is a nice place to come to find out what's happening in any given class in the course of the week. And I also want to show you there's one other template that teachers might be using. So I know Mr. Dillon's Algebra 1 class uses the other template. So I'll show you that. A lot of times teachers will embed their Google Calendar, which has things, assignments listed in them by the day. This is a nice thing, by the way, because students can add those Google Calendars to their own calendar so that all of the teachers' Google Calendars are on their one Google Calendar. That's a nice way for them to stay organized as well. But this is the other template. This is just a Google document that's been embedded on the Moodle page as well. So in this, you'll find the in-class in this middle column, and then over here, homework assignments listed in the right-hand column. So they're set up about the same way. They just use a slightly different tool. But those should all be embedded in teachers' Moodle pages. So that's a good way that you can find real-time information rather than going to PowerSchool, which is usually something that a teacher imports after the fact. So Moodle is much more of an in-the-moment kind of tool to find out what's happening in your son's classes. The other thing that I really want to show you is Google Classroom. Now, as a parent, you don't have access to Google Classroom because we don't enroll parents as students in Classroom, and there is no parent portal for this. But you can ask your son to log into Google Classroom and show you his classroom page. So this is my son's classroom page. And one of the things that I think is the most useful in Google Classroom for students is this little button here that says To Do. When you click on this button, you will find that there are 3 columns at the top. The assigned column, which is work that's coming up for the students, and this can be organized by class. So if there's a certain class where there are a lot of daily assignments, you might want to filter that assigned column by the classes that you're particularly focusing in on. This middle button is really important. So this is going to be real-time missing work from classes that use Google Classroom. And I'll take you back here and show you, my son is enrolled in 7 courses. Of those 7 courses, 5 of them are using Google Classroom to collect homework. I think that's probably a pretty accurate ratio in terms of what you're going to see. So the classes that I don't see here, his art class is not in Google Classroom, which doesn't surprise me, and his theology class is not in Google Classroom. So I would probably lean more heavily on the Moodle site, especially for that theology class. But when I click on the missing work button here in the middle, I can see it's going to tabulate this week, last week, earlier. Thankfully, these assignments down here, those aren't actual assignments. Those are from his Activity Science Olympiad. But if there were things this week that were missing, that would be an opportunity for me to have a conversation with my son about why is this work missing? What are we going to do to get this handed in? And then I can see over here the verification of what he has done most recently. So this week he had a German assignment and he has done that and turned that in. Last week, 11 assignments that he turned in. So I can see that he has completed these things. If things have been returned to him, I can see the scores that have been entered into Google Classroom. So again, this button that I brought up here, this little to-do button, can be a really useful online tool for you to have conversations with your son about how he's managing his workflow. The other thing on this homepage here where all of his classes are listed, when there are things coming up, so due Tuesday and due Monday, I can see that looking toward the future, there are some things that have been assigned already that he should have on his radar for next week. So as you're working with your son on time management, as you're working with him on how to kind of manage all of the workflow and keep all of those things on his radar, how to fill out his assignment notebook, things like that, things that certainly we are working with them in school on, but that some at-home reinforcement can also be helpful. This homepage here for Google Classroom can be a real conversation starter with your son. So please don't hesitate to ask him to log into that homepage and show you some of the things. This might be a good place for you to start when you're having conversations about whether or not your son is keeping up with his work and submitting things in a timely fashion. If you have any questions or need some additional advice on navigating some of our online tools, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. My email address is D as in dog, OERING@muhs.edu, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Thanks so much.